Hello everyone, how are you doing? So today is day 1 of your Sacred Energy Flow for the 5-day Energy Mastery and Alignment Challenge. So I am just going to, invite those of you that I know are planning to join today. Please let me know in the comments if you're here, because I'm sending invites out right now, and today's the first day that we're doing this. So just going to spend a few minutes reminding everybody that this is what we're doing right now. I know I just got a couple of text messages and requests to join the group. So just going to give everybody a few minutes to join in. So please let me know that you're here. I can see that there's somebody watching, but I don't know who it is until you sign in. And so if you didn't get your ebook, then I did download it in this group. So you can start taking a look at it now. And we'll just wait a few minutes. We'll probably wait about 2 more minutes just to see who's signing on, since it is the first day. So just as a reminder, today this call is at 2. For the rest of the week, we're going to be here at noon. So for the rest of the week, it'll be noon. We're going to try to stick to about 30 minutes just to keep the integrity of your time and your schedule. So what the week is going to look like is you will have some self-work to do in between each call. And then this group coaching call time is really for us to work through some things together, but then also for you to come with some questions so that we can move on into the next day. So if you have any questions right now, I'd love to hear what they are as we get started. Questions are always good. If you didn't get your ebook, please let me know. If you can't, you can find it in the files here in this Facebook group as well. Hi, Jill. How's your launch going? So Jill is the owner of a new apparel company. It is really wonderful. I love it because it encourages the mirror work, which I love to do. And the words on the shirt, maybe one of these days I'll just wear my shirt or backwards so that when you look in the mirror, you can see clearly what it is supposed to be. So it's super awesome. So we'll just wait 1 more minute. Who else do we have on? I see Jill is here. Who else do we have signing on? So Jill, did you get your ebook? Were you able to get that? Mm-hmm. 13% so far and growing. Awesome. That's so cool. Hey, Jen, I'm glad you signed on. So awesome. So Jill and Jen, did you both get your ebook? Now, Jen, I know that it was possible that maybe you didn't have it. I did try to upload it in the group, so maybe you'll be able to see it. But if you didn't, I'll make sure you get it afterwards. We're going to go through all of it today, kind of teacher classroom style, as you can see behind me. So if you don't have it, no worries. We're actually going to go through the first day today. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. I'm just going to hit my, we're doing this live on Instagram and Facebook. So, okay, welcome, beautiful ladies. Thank you for joining me today. I'm super excited to share what I have to share with you this week. So I have created, you haven't gotten it yet. Okay, Jen, we'll make sure you get that. So this week is called the Energize and Align 5-Day Energy Mastery Challenge. And it's something that I've been working on actually for almost a year. And it came to me through 10 years of health coaching and life coaching, and really just understanding the idea and the belief and having the belief that everything that we have in our life is energy. So if you know anything about me, you know that 20 years ago I was an engineer, and then I had a health crisis. I became a health coach, and then had a second health crisis. So I started to incorporate meditation, yoga, and life coaching to sort of address the deeper issues of our relationship and how we nourish ourselves which correlates to our relationship to our belief about ourselves and how we show up in our life. So the energy work that I've really been diving down deep into, thankful for all of the beautiful clients that I have that show me this stuff that comes up for them, is really the idea that sometimes we kind of overcomplicate things. And what ends up happening is we start to feel overwhelmed, exhausted, too busy, unworthy, and doubtful in our ability to live a life in a certain way that we want. So I want to know from you ladies that are here listening, as I talk about that, can you relate to that? Have you ever felt like do you go through your day and never notice, do you have the beliefs or thoughts that either you feel overwhelmed or too busy to actually make time for the things that you want to do? Are there things in your life that you want? Maybe it's to go on a vacation. Maybe it's to try that raw food vegan cleanse for a week, or maybe it's to sign up for the gym, or maybe it's to spend more time with your partner, with your husband. And do you find yourself thinking that you're too tired, you don't have enough energy or time or support to do the things you want to do? Because if you can relate to that, that's really what we're talking about today. And so what I've really discovered over the years, and the belief that I have, is that our sole purpose in this lifetime is to really just embrace who we were born to be. And when I say that, I'm just curious. Like, I want to just say that again, and I want to invite you guys to just slow down whatever you're doing and to really receive what it is that I'm sharing with you. So maybe it feels good to take a deep breath. Maybe it feels good to put your hands on your heart. And just as I say the words, your only purpose in this life is to really embrace who you were born to be. And I'm just going to invite you to just kind of take a deep breath in and really breathe that in. And I'm just curious, did you feel it in your body? Did you believe it? Or did you just kind of hear the words? Because there's really a difference. As a yoga teacher, one of the things that I love to do in class is encourage people to have gratitude. So there's a difference between saying that we're grateful for something and then allowing ourselves to really feel grateful for something. And so this is what I'm talking about right now. Believing that we are enough by who we are, not what we do, and that our only purpose is to embrace who we are. So really coming home to that truth of who we are. Because once we can believe this is what we're going to be talking about all week. These are the steps to get into alignment with the truth of who we are. But what happens is we get caught up in the busyness and the doing and our identities. I'm a mother, I'm a lawyer, I'm a teacher, I'm a wife, I'm a partner, I'm a, whatever it is that we do, we start to really get caught up in the energy of what we're doing, not just who we are. And so this week is really about rediscovering who we are so that we can live in alignment and relax into the truth of who we are. And this is what energy mastery really is, because each of us were born with an innate set of physical talents and gifts, spiritual talents and gifts that are part of who we are. And all we are really here to do is to remember what that was. Remember, come home to who we were born to be, and then take the action steps to live in alignment with that, which is what I call the flow, the energy flow of life. So really, I've got some people signing on to Instagram. Hi, thank you for joining us. This is the 5-day Energy Mastery Challenge. I have one more person on the Facebook too. I know I have Jen and Jill. I don't know who else is here, but I'd love to hear from you in the comments. So this is kind of an outline of what we're going to do today. So we're going to talk about your sacred energy flow. So we're kind of creating the space or the container for this whole week. And we're going to do that by getting really clear on our energy flow, what we're spending our energy doing, and making choices to be intentional to do the things that it is that we are here to do And those things are going to be the things that light us up, that bring us joy, that feel more effortless, that we enjoy doing, and the things that we probably notice that people have complimented us on, like, you're really good at this. And then taking it a step further and allowing ourselves to receive those compliments, receive the support, receive the feedback that's all around us that is supporting us to really step into what we're supposed to do. So if you have your ebook, I'm going to break down the whole 5-day challenge for us. I want to invite you to pull it out. And I know, Jen, you don't have yours right now. That's okay. We're going to go through the pages today. This challenge is really about a rediscovery of who you are in the world and living in alignment, because when we're in alignment, it's not about the action steps. It's not about the doing. It's about the being. It no longer... The belief that eating healthy is hard work is no longer there anymore, because you already are a person who chooses to be healthy. So when you choose to step into the energy of the person that you want to be, it no longer looks like it's separate from you. It's a part of who you are. So it's really adopting, taking the action steps to create healthy habits, and then believing and standing in that power that that's who you were born to be. So today 1 is identifying your sacred energy flow. Day 2 is healing and releasing energy blocks. So this is a really big one. It's hard to move forward until we can identify emotional and mindset, spiritual, physical blocks that show up. We'll talk about that tomorrow. Wednesday is learn intuitive balanced energy. This is the balance of giving and receiving. So, and for instance, clearing energy blocks is a lot of releasing. Well, then we want to replace that with some nourishing and positive energy. Thursday is going to be understanding energy management. So energy management goes beyond time management. It's not about, we all have the same number of hours in a day. So it's really about what is in alignment with your energy field. And then Friday, understanding your energy signature roadmap. So that's really getting super clear on when you were born into this life, you're here for a purpose. And what was that purpose? It could be really in relation to your children. It's not an identity, it's a purpose, the purpose of who you are, how you show up in every aspect of your life. So that's what the week is going to look like. So if you don't have your ebook, we'll make sure that you get that. If you can see this over here. Now I want to invite you to participate in the giveaway. So as we go through this week, if you're already on here, you've already joined the challenge, 2 other things to do are, if you're on Instagram or not, try to get onto an Instagram account and tag @JenMons and invite a friend to join the challenge. That's step number 2, to be entered to win the giveaway. Now the giveaway is going to be a 6-week group coaching program where we're going to dive deeper, way deeper, in a small, intimate group coaching setting on these different areas. But we're going to get into nutrition, we're going to get into healing emotional blocks, and creating that sacred space and finding that alignment of our energy signature. So that's going to be the group coaching program. So the 3 steps you take are to join this, to tag somebody on Instagram, and then I can't remember the 3rd step. What is the 3rd step? It's part of your ebook. So look at your ebook and I'll remember it in a moment. Yeah, so we'll go there. Okay, so let's get super clear on the energy assessment. That's where we're going to start. So if you have your ebook, go ahead and open it on the energy assessment. Now it's 5 simple questions that we're going to fill out now, and we're going to fill out at the end. So the first question, if you don't have an ebook, Jen, you can answer here. On a scale of 1 to 10, how are your current energy levels? So just thinking about, on a scale of 1 to 10, energy levels. And then the second one is, on a scale of 1 to 10, what would you like your energy levels to be? So 1 to 10, what would you like your energy levels to be? And if you want to sound off in the comments, I'd love to hear what you say. What would you like them to be? So where are you at? So if we have this scale, 1 to 10, your current energy level, let's just say, here's a 5. Let's just say you're at a 5. And maybe realistically for you, you say 8 is reasonable. And of course, we all want to be at a 10. However, you know, how are we going to get from 5 to 10? Are we going to be overwhelmed? Because we don't want to do that. We're here to reduce the overwhelm. So on a scale of 1 to 10, let's say you're at a 5 and you want to be at a 10. So just really thinking about right now, we're going to start building the framework. What are the beliefs that are keeping you from where you are to where you want to be? That's what we're going to talk about this week. So the next question is how important it is for you on a scale of 1 to 10 to harness more energy into your life and to live in the flow. So when I say live in the flow, I'm not talking about like the energy that comes from coffee or working out. I'm talking about that deep inner sense of knowing that you are exactly where you need to be, and that you feel good about how you're showing up, and that you look forward to waking up every morning, and you look forward to doing the things that you're doing, and you are passionate about life, and you are showing up in the best way that you can for your kids, for your partner, for your husband, for your clients, for in whatever area of your life. Because when we take care of ourselves, we are able to do that. So how important is it for you right now to go from, let's just say if you're a 5 and you want to go to an 8, how important is it for you to happen right now? So on a scale of 1 to 10. So let's say if you're at a 5 and you want to get to an 8, but you're only at a 5 right now, and how important it is to you in this moment, you might not be quite ready to make big changes, and that's okay. But just get super clear with how important it is to you right now. And then on a scale of 1 to 10, how important is it for you to learn how to do this now? So some of us say that we want to do something, but then when we realize that it might require a little bit of our own self-responsibility and some action steps, we kind of resist a little bit. So how important is it for you to learn right now in your life, just realistically? You know, some of you on here might have some things that you're going through. You might have, you might be experiencing grief or loss, or you might be in a startup company. And so you might have some things going on right now, and it might not be the right time to learn something new. And then on a scale from 1 to 10, just super clear, in the next 5 days, how committed are you to this 5-day challenge? Because this 5-day challenge is about me getting in here, doing some coaching every day, a chance for you to ask questions. We're going to build the foundation for diving into some deeper work if you want at this time. This is sort of like if you look at the scale in your ebook, if you're 5 to 20, you're curious about what it would look like but to have more energy and live in the flow, then this program is perfect. So everybody on here is either at this level or they're wanting more, because otherwise you wouldn't be here. So just answering those questions and just keeping those for the end. So now, and I don't know where my paper towel is, so we're going to be using my hand. It's going to be a little bit dirty, but that's okay. Now, most of us joined this program because we are currently feeling overwhelmed. Maybe we're feeling unworthy. So tell me about which of these you can relate to. And please tell me in the comments. Overwhelmed. So this is what I often hear with the women that I worked with. They feel overwhelmed. They don't want to start a new program because they feel overwhelmed. It's too much work. They have low energy. Okay, there's so many things that go into this low energy piece. Yes, food is energy. Food is wonderful, but it's not everything. Our relationships affect our energy. Our beliefs affect our energy. Our emotional awareness affects our energy. So overwhelm, low energy, and self-doubt. So we can also say self-confidence. That might show up too, because when we're in the energy of fear or doubt or worthiness or unworthiness, it is a low vibration energy that feels exhausting. It feels overwhelming. So let me just kind of paint the picture for you really quick. Just a cycle, a self-sabotaging cycle that happens a lot, specifically for women. When we don't feel worthy, we work hard to prove our worth until we can be recognized or acknowledged in a way that we feel worthy. Therefore, becoming overwhelmed, tired, and exhausted, Because even if we're getting worthiness or acknowledgement from other people, we still have that belief that we still have to prove ourselves by what we do. So we go in this cycle of like, I'm not, this is a subconscious belief, by the way. It could be we subconsciously don't believe that we're good enough. So then we continue to work hard to prove ourselves, taking us into that cycle of exhaustion and low energy, because no matter what, if we really truly subconsciously don't believe that we're good enough, and this is, Jill is selling these amazing shirts right now, Jill Taylor, Madison Sage Apparel, words backwards, valuable, worthy. I mean, this is a big thing for women. Most of the women I work with, we find ourselves in this cycle of trying to prove ourselves. Well, then we're always going to be overwhelmed and exhausted, because the subconscious belief that we're not worthy or good enough is really where the root cause of the problem is. So we just keep trying to, you know, maybe we do it through our kids. We try to make sure that they're in the best dance studio, or they're getting straight A's, or maybe it shows up in our work and we're trying to get that promotion and trying to prove ourselves, or maybe it's just in the way that we eat. Like, I'm going to, you know, be the healthiest eater in the world. Like, I can totally relate to that. So you're not alone if you're feeling me on this. So just notice if that comes up for you. So what we want to move into is, anybody, energy. So from low energy to aligned energy, balance energy, purpose. Oops. So when we know our purpose, when we're in alignment, we don't have self-doubt anymore. We know that we are enough just because of who we are, not what we do. And the overwhelm comes to balance. We no longer need other people's approval for the choices that we make. So I'm asking you in this moment, what are your top 3 goals in your life at this moment? So I'm going to ask you to write those down. So if you have your ebook, you can write them down. If you've done this already, maybe they've shifted a little bit. Top 3 goals. It could be related to it could be the gym. It could be to eat healthier. It could be to get a new job. It could be to sell your house. It could be anything. Just write down your top 3 goals. Hi, Lorna. I don't think you joined the challenge, so you might not have the ebook, but you're welcome to join us. So Jill says, hi, roller coaster, mostly on a high, but doubt keeps sneaking in. Okay, awesome. Yeah, you're doing some exciting stuff right now, Jill. So totally makes sense that you would be in some type of natural high. But of course, the doubt's going to come in. You are pushing your personal growth edge right now. And I really want to acknowledge that you're doing that. You're doing amazing stuff in the world. So top 3 goals in your life at this moment, you might already be working on some of them. And so when you think about these goals, I'm going to invite you to check in with, what do you feel is holding you back? So it's not what you think, but you feel it in your body. What do you feel is holding you back right now from reaching your goals? It could just be to make dinner tonight. Like, it doesn't have to be some super big goal. It could be anything from creating a meal plan, to signing up at the gym, to making a thermography appointment, to, you know, anything that's coming up for you. So if I'm asking you, what do you feel is holding you back, then these would be feelings. So fear, doubt, energy. Energy isn't really a feeling, but the belief that you don't have enough energy is a belief. So what do you believe, do you feel is holding you back? Support. Maybe you need support from somebody. Maybe money, time. Just get really clear on what you feel is holding you back. So money and time aren't really feelings, but your belief about it might show up. And then just for clarity, because self-responsibility is important, the energy of our words is important. What have you tried before? What have you tried in your life to get you from where you are to where you want to go? So I just got off the phone with somebody who's interested in seeking support for autoimmunity. And so if maybe you're one of those people, maybe you're seeking support in a new way. Maybe it's seeking alternative methods through healing the gut or through functional medicine. Maybe you've tried therapy. If it's with, if your energy is being drained in a relationship that you're in right now, maybe it worked, maybe it didn't work. Maybe you've tried a retreat before, a self-healing retreat. Maybe your goal is to lose weight and you've tried running or you've tried the gym, but you haven't quite got your healthy eating habits in line. What have you tried? What worked? What didn't work? Just get super clear. There's no judgment here. So this is just for you. And I really invite you to answer from a place of like, we're just being super clear without judgment or expectation. It's super important. Okay, so we're writing down our goals. And again, I'd love to hear from you guys in the comments. So Jill has answered, Jen, if you're still on, what I feel is holding me back is letting go of wanting to be taken care of by a man. Okay, that's a good one, Jill. Thank you for sharing, by the way. It takes a lot of courage to open up and be seen in what our beliefs are. And I just want to acknowledge that that is a super valid belief. And you are worthy and deserving of wanting that. So I love that you came through and said that. So there's the belief about what we feel is holding us back. What have we tried before? What worked? What didn't work? So Jill, in your area, just kind of thinking about, there's some action steps that have to happen in order to get from where you are to where you want to be. And so if it involves another person in a relationship, there are different ways that you can do that, right? I mean, especially in today's world, it's like a whole new world of, online meetups and things like that. So what have you tried that worked and what didn't work? Because here's the thing, you guys, what works for one person, just like food, what works for one person does not work for everybody. So we're just bringing clarity. So when we want to call in what we want in our life, we have to clear our energy field. We have to be super clear about what we want, what we don't want. And we have to know and stand in our self-worth that we are worthy of calling in what we do want. So now we're going to switch gears just a little bit. What are your top 5 core values? So if you haven't heard of core values before, it's something that just like, this is what you live by. This is what you stand in. This is your truth. This is what lights you up. This is what makes you excited and happy in life. What is super important to you? And I would love to hear from you guys in the comments again. So what are your core values? Because these are part of who you are. These are part of reconnecting and rediscovering with why you're here, like what you're here to do, who you're here to be. Like maybe it's just you're the funny one in the family. Maybe you're the healer in the family. Maybe you're the nurturer in the family. So these will often come through in your core values. Like, one of my core values is nourishment. Nourishment doesn't just mean food. It means nourishing relationships. It means nourishing food. It means nourishing energy. Nourishing means receiving and giving to me. So our different core values can mean different things. Another one of my core values is connection. So connection is like we're doing here. We're connecting community, the community that I have with the women that I work with, the community that I have through my daughter's surf, through my daughter's dance, through my family. So different communities and ways to connect with people. So what are the 5 things, just pick 5, that are super important to you? And then the next question is, do you have a process? So this is where energy clarity comes in. Do you have a process that you take yourself through to decide whether or not your actions in life are in alignment with your core values? So when you think about these values, let's just say nourishment. Like for me, for example, nutrition is one, or if you guys have one, maybe we can walk through one of yours if you want to type it. Let me see if anybody's number 1 goal to remove the clutter in my life. Okay, awesome, because creating sacred space, we're going to talk about that. That's a part of it. Physical, emotional, and food. I love that you're aware that the clutter doesn't just show up physically. and empathy. Jen, tell me a little bit about the empathy. Is that a value? Is the empathy a value? Or is it standing in the way? Okay, so again, getting into those core values and then thinking about, do you take yourself through a process to see if your actions are in alignment with your core values? So here's an example. Nutrition, nourishment is important to me. So I take myself through a process where there's nutrition, whether it's time and energy, because we're talking about energy can be food, energy can be relationships, energy can be our beliefs, our thoughts. So it's all an equal exchange of energy. So I take myself through a process. Well, I was talking about nutrition, but so I'll do two examples. One is in nutrition, nourishment is what I'd like to say. You know, when I'm choosing to eat something, I ask myself, is this serving me? Does this feel good? And so for me now, I know from health coaching over the years in my personal journey that gluten does not serve me. As much as I want to think that it could, I was a breaditarian for so many years, which is really just another word for a poor eating vegetarian. I ate all gluten and dairy, and now I know it gives me headaches, it makes me tired, and the crazy thing is I get nightmares, and I'm not allergic to it. It's just that it doesn't work for me. So I have found other ways. So that's the food part. Now the energy part. So think about the different types of energy in our life. We have time, we have money, we have relationships, connection, we have food. I take myself through a process before I work with somebody, even in my private coaching program, because it's a very intimate co-creation in my private coaching program. I only work with 6 women at a time. I take myself through the process before I am willing to offer them a spot. Can I help this person? Is this person in alignment with me? Is it the right time? So whenever I'm deciding, or even if I get asked to do something for my kids' school or dance, do I have to be the person to do this? Is this in alignment with who I am? Check in with your body. You'll feel it in your body. Like, does this feel good? Do I feel relaxed and in the flow, or do I feel stressed? And if I'm stressed, what's underneath that? What's that about? Is it my fear of not being good enough? Is it my fear that I can't do a good job? Or am I stressed because I have too much to do? And am I feeling like I have to do it to prove that I'm important? So those things can show up. So do you have a process that you take yourself through? Do you ask yourself questions? I'd love to hear if you guys are asking yourself questions. Empathy is a value, but it can sometimes keep me from taking care of myself. Okay, Jen, I totally feel you on that one. Like literally feel you on that one. It's true. So healthy boundaries, we're gonna end our day today with healthy boundaries. We're gonna talk about that. And so here's something about empathy that I learned in my own journeys. For me, I'm an Enneagram 7. I don't know if you're familiar with the Enneagrams. So I learned through my journey of empathy that it was sometimes easier to be in somebody else's pain than my own. That was really humbling for me to learn. And then there were times, this is years ago when I was in a spiritual life coaching program, learning about all this. And then for me, I learned, I'm just sharing my journey, that sometimes I would go so deep into empathy for somebody else to understand them because I needed to feel connected. And then sometimes I noticed I was doing it because I needed to feel, I was kind of making it about me and how I could relate to that person. So it took a couple of years of practicing and becoming aware of it, but I would learn to just, now as a coach, of course, this is a skill that I've had to practice for quite some time because I have a high level of empathy and intuition that allows me to see, sense, feel, and hear all kinds of things. And so as that comes through, I've learned that to create the space where I had to do my own discernment, like, is this mine or is this theirs? Is this about me? Is it about them? Because sometimes our empathy is showing us a reflection of ourselves in another person. So I'm just going to let you kind of, Jen, think about that for a moment. Sometimes our empathy shows us a reflection of ourselves in another person. So really, sometimes it's an invitation to do some more inner deep work and to really ask the question, like, why am I showing up so sensitive? What is the underlying need? So I love that you shared that, because most people in this group are going to relate to that. I actually coach quite a few people who are rediscovering their intuition and their empathy as well. So do you have a practice that you go through? You can write this down or share it to decide whether or not your actions are in alignment with your core values. And I'm just curious, do you have a sacred daily ritual or commitment that you do, like journaling, drinking coffee or tea, movement, meditation, prayer? It doesn't have to look the same every day. Many people get caught up that meditation is supposed to, be stillness and quiet. That is not meditation. Meditation is a practice of presence in where you are. It is a practice of allowing and receiving. It can be walking the dog. It can be walking on the beach. It can be the way that you choose to eat. You can allow yourself to just notice the texture of the food. Meditation is a way of being. It is not something that you do. So I just want to kind of say that. But do you have a practice that you do? Do you have something that feels good to you to do every day, where you come into alignment with your energy? And if not, would you be willing to create one? And by the way, sometimes the practice is just is in the flow of where you are that day, but it's the intention to commit some time to yourself. That's really what it is. So in other words, it doesn't have to look the same every day. Anybody want to share anything that comes up for you? Empathy. I simply think, do what I want to do. Do I want to do it? Disregard people telling me what I should do. I love that you said that, the word should. Whenever I hear that, it's misaligned. So when I hear it, there's certain words that I hear that kind of trigger like that we're out of alignment, right? It's like, I'm too busy. Just really means that we're not prioritizing our values correctly, or it's not important at this time. It's hard to do when I do something and I don't want to. It isn't beneficial for everyone. It's hard to do when I do something I don't want to. Very true. When we started this call, it's all about us being in alignment with our truth. And it's all that we're here to do. No one else can do that for either of you. And what works for you is going to be different for everybody else. And that is because that is what you're here to do. That is your gift. And so actually all we're here to do is just embrace that and just let it come out, allow it, receive it. Many of us are spending our days trying to take the steps, do the thing, when actually it's really more about just relaxing into the truth of who we are and just receiving, like really. So you could probably feel my energy shift as I was talking about that, because I want you guys to know that my whole life has been a practice of this. I've definitely been the overachiever, perfectionist, and it showed up no matter what the work was. So it's a conscious effort and practice for me to take a step back and relax and to share in a way that feels good for me and to have clear boundaries, which is what we're going to talk about next, because you said that, Jen. So the last thing we're going to do is we're going to clarify our beliefs around energy. So as we're setting up the sacred container for this week, I want you to think about what areas of your life do you need support around creating healthy boundaries. So Jen, you already mentioned the empathy. So what area of your life do you need support around creating healthy boundaries? Because that's what we're going to do this week. We're going to support each other. And by the way, I'm in this too. So when I take my private coaching clients through this, I'm not doing it with them because all of my clients are in a different space. So I'm going to be doing this with you guys. We're creating this energy, this space together this week. So what area do you need support in? Is it creating meals? Is it creating healthy boundaries energetically? Are you a people pleaser? Do you do too much? Do you say yes to too many things? Are you giving and receiving in equal amounts in your life? So think about those. What areas do you need some support? And sound off in the comments. I'd love to hear. We'll help you to stay accountable. Hi, Trini. I think a daily ritual would help a lot, but I just have never made it a priority. Okay, I love that you shared that. The priority is where we come back to the core value. So Jen, I'm just going to say, what is one of your core values? Because if you think a daily ritual would help, do you believe it? Is it in alignment with your core values? Is there something in your core values, the things that are important to you, where you could fit daily ritual in? I mean, honestly, if like, just say fun is a core value for you. Maybe that's all you do. You make sure that you laugh every day, or you watch a funny show, or you know, it could just be something like that. So what areas of your life do you need support around creating healthy boundaries or requesting support? So creating healthy boundaries and allowing yourselves to receive support, two different things, right? That balance of giving and receiving. What are your current beliefs around energy? So we're talking about energy, but you heard me say in the beginning of the call, energy is food, energy is time, energy is relationship. What are your current beliefs, and do you have enough? Do you hear yourself saying the words, I'm too tired, I don't have enough energy, you know, anything like that? Does that show up for you? Can you relate to energy? Are there certain things that give you energy? What are your current beliefs around time? Do you have enough time to do the things you want to do? We all have the same 24 hours in the day, but how we choose to use it looks differently for each of us. Does it take you 20 minutes to shower or 5 minutes, right? Like, it's all just kind of depends on what's important to you. So what are your beliefs about time? For example, I'll share mine with you. I was raised in a family with a dad who was in the military. So a belief that was passed on to me is that if you're on time, you're late. So I always had this feeling or belief that I was late. And so it still shows up for me because it's a practice to, you know, really just trust and know that where I am and what my belief is that I am right on time in my life, in every area. So maybe you can relate to that. So for example, Jill just launched a company. At some point in time, she had this belief and knew that this is the right time to do this. So what current areas of your life drain your energy? So I really want to invite you guys to call this out. Say it in the comments. You can say it in a loving way. Could be, you know, the family commitments. Could be your work. Could be a relationship. Could be your marriage. Could be your best friend gossiping all the time. I don't know. Could be anything. It could be your food. If your food's not giving you energy, maybe you haven't quite learned the foods that are going to energize you or take your energy away. The food one we're going to talk about on Wednesday is not only finding out which foods do not give you energy, but bringing in the foods that do. So what are your current areas of your life drain your energy? And what areas, the last question, what areas of your life bring you energy? So I'd love to hear from you guys in the comments. So we're talking about what takes our energy, what gives us energy. What your beliefs are about time and energy. Do you have enough? Do you need support? How can you ask for support? What can you let go of? What can you welcome in? What areas of your life drain your energy, and what brings you energy? So you're going to have homework for tonight. Let's see. I always feel like tired no matter what. I feel like there is not enough time. I feel scattered. I'm hypothyroid, but that's being addressed. When you said it's misalignment, that really resonated with me. Awesome, Drini. That's what we're talking about all week, is our beliefs about where we are and where we're supposed to be fluctuate, and that is when we're out of alignment. So it's whatever our belief is kind of that little distance between where we are and where we think we're supposed to be. So we started out by writing goals at the beginning, and I don't know if you signed up for the challenge, Trini, but there's an ebook that we're working through with this. Communication with my ex-boyfriend drains my energy. Okay, Jill, that's very understandable that might be something. So Jill, I would invite you to, in those moments, kind of check in with your body and just kind of notice, like, what is the belief about that experience? Like, you know, sometimes there's an underlying need, like maybe it's the need to be heard. Maybe it's the need to feel understood or to be acknowledged for something. But I would just invite you to consider what the underlying need is, and then also just notice if there's an attachment to that need, because, and this is for everybody here, when we have an attachment to a need, that's the part that keeps us uncomfortable, because we have an expectation or an attachment that's not being met. Therefore, validating our belief that we aren't worthy, we're overwhelmed, we don't have the energy or whatever. So we started by creating goals, thinking about where we want to be, where we want to go, thinking about how committed we are to the process, and just getting super clear about our values and beliefs on time and energy. So we've gone through that full circle, and you guys shared a lot of good things. Food is draining my energy for certain. Okay, that's a great awareness, Jen, that food is definitely an energy. Food is an opportunity to nourish ourselves and give ourselves energy through macronutrients and micronutrients. And it's also a place where if we're not eating the foods that we're supposed to, it's going to have an adverse reaction in our body, create inflammation, and decrease our energy. And then we go a level deeper as to, well, once we know what works for us and doesn't work for us, because that we can do pretty easily, then the question is, how are we going to make that sustainable? Well, we can only make it sustainable when we believe that we can do it, when we have the support, that we know what we're doing, we can trust our decisions, and that we can take those steps, and that we have the support to do it, and that we believe that we're worthy of those changes. So there's kind of some things underneath that can show up around that. So we have food, relationships, and then the belief that we're tired no matter what. So these are all really great things that you guys shared. Okay, so here's your homework. So we're going to clear the energy right now by offering, let's see, I don't have, I'm gonna have to scoot this back a little bit because I don't have a wipe to wipe it. And then we're gonna finish for the day to be integrity with the time. So, okay, so number one choice you guys get to choose is a brain dump. Okay? So a brain dump or energy dump is where you write down everything that you think you have to do within the timeline of your goal. So whatever goals that you want to achieve, let's give ourselves, let's say 1 to 3 months. You pick one goal that you want to achieve in 1 to 3 months. And so everything that you think you have to do in the next 1 to 3 months that shows up for you, I have to, okay, take my daughter to surf contest. I gotta hang that picture on the wall. I'm gonna go through my list right now, okay? I have to order those cabinet handles for the cabinet guy to make the cabinets. I have to sign up my daughter for this surf contest, sign up my daughter for this dance recital. I have to call that client back from that discovery call. So these are the things coming up for me, right? So your list might be like 3 pages long. It's going to be personal, professional. I got to go get a massage. I got to get a facial. I got to go work out. I got to sign up for the gym. All the things that you think you have to do. So I have something on my list from like a year and a half ago. I want to create a photo book from our vacation from Belize a year and a half ago. That's on my brain dump list. It's not getting done right now because it's not a priority, but it's on my list. It's kind of taken up space in my mind. So go through that whole list and write everything down. And then reprioritize everything on if it's urgent, like it has to be done right now, or if it's a priority, or if it's just kind of a wish list thing. So go through and then organize it in that way. Is it urgent? Does it really have to get done right now? So this is getting into some of the Stephen Covey principles, the time matrix on, does it have to be done right now? So is it urgent? Is it a priority? Is it just something you would like to get done? And then go back to the list and think about which things you could assign to somebody else. Does it have to be me? Do I have to be the person to do it? And write somebody's name. My loving husband, I write his name down, a couple things like he can do this faster than me. I don't have to do it. In my business, I have a podcast producer. I don't have to do this. Like for what I'm paying him and it's my time with a coaching client, like that's a decision process I have to go through. And we're going to wrap this up in a few more minutes. So the brain dump exercise, So that's one choice. Or the second one is the willingness to commit to some type of food awareness practice. I'm going to share with you, if this is you, send me a message. I have a ton of resources and programs for this, you guys. This is what I did for 10 years. Like, I love this stuff. There's nothing more empowering than when you know what food works for you and what doesn't, because we have to eat all day long, and every meal is an opportunity to nourish ourselves, gives ourselves energy. So we can start with a program to support you in that process. So decide, is it the energy is you think you have too many things to do? Or is it because you're physically tired because you're not nourishing yourself? So that's your homework for tonight. And we'll see you guys again tomorrow. And tomorrow is we're going to clear energy blocks. So we're going to do this because what happens when you choose this is there's probably going to be a belief that shows up, which is an energy block, about how you're going to do this. So just kind of notice what comes up. And any questions that you have, post them in the Facebook group. Your questions are what are driving me to create this content. So I would love to hear your questions. Have a wonderful day. Thanks for staying on a little bit longer today. Tomorrow, we're going to keep it to between 30 and 40 minutes so that we can do this every day. And remember, 12 o'clock tomorrow. So do this as your homework. Choose one of these. So for Jen, it might be the food awareness piece. For Trini, it might be the brain dump. It might be some overwhelm there. I'm not sure. You just have to feel it out. And then take a look at clearing sacred energy or clearing energy blocks before tomorrow, because we're going to dive deeper into the beliefs and the emotions that show up when we're ready to create change in our life. Okay? Have a wonderful day. Thanks for joining.